Hey everybody, it's me, Remy the Comic Book Poser, and as always, I'm here to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. For those of you who are here tailgating a little early, make sure you refresh your screen. You're not going to miss anything brilliant coming out of my mouth in the next 30 seconds. That in the description of the video, right below kind of the promo of the topics, I've added 4 featured channels that I would like you to place a comment. The hashtag Poser Says Hi. We're going with the same theme that we put in the 500 subscriber video on 4 channels that I'll talk about here in a second. But I want to say what's up to the folks here in the chat. Ruben, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for giving me a cowabunga on everything. My buddy Lee from Whack Comics is actually getting ready to hop in the stream. He is going to be our another judge for the show this evening. We don't know if Stoney's still here or not. If you missed Stoney, he was on Lost in Comics earlier today, interviewed by Chris and Oscar, 2 of my favorite people to listen talk about comics, but also just 2 of my favorite people in general. They interviewed him about this book called Villainous that I think comes out on June 53rd. I think it's a book about a coven of witches, and maybe it's from Depressed Alcove Studios. That he's got a book coming out next week. It's real good, y'all. There's a hot variant of it that Mad Cave Studios had up on their website during the the showcase last week. So you should definitely check out Villainous. Even if you're not a big indie fan or a big superhero fan, you're gonna want to hop in on that book because I think it's really good. D Piercy's in the house. Thanks for swinging on in here. We got, it jumped on me. We got my man from Japan, Samurai Ken, K. Titus. Y'all know how much I'm a big fan of Ken. You can see that he's included in the 500 subscriber giveaway links that you can click on to drop him a comment. Ken is not just doing the literal Lord's work in spending his time volunteering in a hospital in Japan, working with children with cancer, but he has become the voice to shout out all kinds of channels all over YouTube. And Ken doesn't just shout out everybody. Ken shouts out people who are like putting work in, doing some interesting content. And y'all have seen all 4 million videos that K. Titus watches in a day because he's got a little one at home and he doesn't sleep. So you know that he does that. Chaos is in the house, one of our featured contestants in the second debate tonight. Yeah, K. Titus says, see, you got a buzz. This is my Britney Spears 2007 crisis going on right now. We got some burritos in the chat waiting to come in. Yep, we got a What's a Villainous. We like to ask Stoney when it comes out because his name it comes out on whatever day next week. Let's see. We got a bunch of people saying hi to everybody. CFAP, what's going on in the house? The one person who might be saltier than me in the comic community, and I am here for it. I love it. Let's see. Nick, the third burrito, who would agree with everybody, is in the house. CFAP, I'm doing fine tonight. Last week was kind of rough for me. That one of the reasons why we pushed back tonight's debate from last week to tonight. My school decided on Tuesday to announce that they were changing the nature of our schedule, and it wasn't COVID related, that it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And I had a fucking mental breakdown, like not joking. Like my brain outworked my anxiety medicine, and she was rough last week. Tapia, the man, the myth, the legend, who opens all kinds of things in his sweet closet. I can relate to that because that's where my video started. Let's see. Yep, Dark Side is. Ken, my kids are doing great. They're all kinds of full of energy and spunk. They are upstairs watching some Cloudy with a Chance to Meatballs with mommy. And yeah, I forgot to comb my hair. I believe I said when I first showed this in whatever video I pulled my head rag off that I look like a fat, uglier version of Bruce from Bruce and Stephanie Comics if Bruce stopped doing CrossFit. because that's my facial aesthetic right now. And we got Sam King in the house. Sam, glad to see you here. He is one of my favorite Canadians. He might be the only Canadian I like. Who knows? So before I update you on a couple of things and start talking about tonight's show, I wanted to show you a couple of things that I've been waiting on to get here that are kind of cool. If you remember a couple weeks ago, George, I think it's George over at D-Runt Comics, had that video contest where we all gave together he asked for everybody to put together like the 5 favorite covers in their collection. And while I did not win one of the grand prizes, I won a participation trophy that I will take on the rigged wheel. And today I've picked up a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 149, graded at a 9.4. I hate the reflection. You can see it's got the sweet Spider-Man logo on there. This might be the biggest boy book that I own. That's what Biggie Shaq said in the chat when I won it. And this book is the first appearance of the Spider-Man clone. It's the origin and the death of the Jackal, and there's an appearance of the Gwen Stacy clone. So I had to take one of my holders off the wall to hang it back up there, and you'll notice that there's a missing spot up there. And if you've paid attention or stared at the things in the background, you might know what book is gone. You might not know what book is gone, but it's something that I'm giving away in the 500 in my 500 subscriber giveaway. The second thing that I want to show that's really, really cool, I was on a trivia hot streak in the month of September on Comics and Beer on Friday nights with Bruce and Stephanie, and I won the Something is Killing the Children themed prize that month. And they were giving away 2 things. First was a collection of all of the books, so I got some of the covers that I didn't have, which was really, really nice. And then they gave away this thing that I'm going to flip around, which I knew Stephanie wanted it. And I said in the chat, Stephanie can keep it, send me the books. And she said no, and they sent it to me anyway. And when I opened it yesterday, I freaked out at just being able to see it in person. It is an original Erica Slaughter sketch by Werther Daldera himself. So you better believe that puppy, I think the way I said it in the video is you're going to have to pry it from my cold dead hands. So you don't care about what kind of stuff that I've got. Thank you, CFAP, and for the win. Man Cave, good to see you. You popped up and then swung by on me. So real quick, if you missed the video that I dropped yesterday afternoon, I am on the march to 500 subscribers. I think I am at like 468. And I dropped a video that walks people through the process of how to enter. So if you go to my website, comicbookposer.com, you're going to see, blog posts from the week and that kind of stuff. But if you look here at the top, and it won't let me change the text. Oh, it's gone because I'm in short mode. If you click on 500 YouTube sub giveaway, it takes you here with the rules. And what we are doing is a virtual escape room that you are stuck in the Poserverse, and you have to click on some of the variety of items around the room to help you find some clues to get out. There are also links to other channels and things like that here that if you comment on their video with the hashtag Poser Says Hi, I've got a drawing for a separate giveaway that I will do solely based on the people who comment on those videos. And let me tell you, I'm going to have to pay a hell of a shipping bill after this, because I think as of now, there are 14 individual giveaways, not counting the grand prize drawings from the rigged wheel for the people who finish the escape room. So there's that. I hope you do it. I hope you enjoy it. Once I hit 500 subscribers, I will extend the competition for a week beyond that. And then we'll announce when the stream is. Cole from Comic Burrito wants to know if he was the first one to finish. No, you were not. You were the third. I will unveil who the first finisher was probably in about a week. And because that person won a prize that they did not know existed for winning the race. So there's that. Before I start talking about tonight's matchups, I figured I can show you a couple of the things that I've got for the giveaways throughout the 500 subscriber giveaway. So one of the books that I've been writing about incessantly on my blog, and I've done a couple of little mentions of it on some of my videos or streams, is it's a new manga, but it is in a comic book style. It is called Gray. There are currently 2 chapters, and the 3rd chapter, I think, is physically released in like 3 or 4 weeks. But I really love this book. The person who's creating it, Chris Hornet, has a fantastic story going. And I don't know if that art looks familiar to you or not, but this is an In-Huck Lee cover for the 2nd cover of a self-published independent comic manga, which I think is pretty cool to see someone with that kind of stature put their name on a book. So this is in there, and this might be a clue to help you solve one of the locks. The second thing that I'll show now is one of the 2 slabs that I will give away. I have a 9/8 copy of Batman number 43 from Tom King's run. I really, really, really think this cover is pretty cool. If I can get any glare away from it. But I just kind of like the flash dance thing in the middle of a flower field. But it's, you know, Snyder and Capullo. Oh, so it's not Tom King. I'm stupid. It's Snyder and Capullo, and then it's Danny Mickey's cover art. So, yeah, that's Snyder. Thank you, Cole. I hate you. I'm going to vote against you tonight. It's Snyder. I can't read. Leave me alone. I'll show a couple of the other things off maybe between the first 2 debates tonight. But really quick, I wanted to mention the featured channels that are in the description of the video tonight. There are 4 people down there, and instead of spamming them in the chat while you're watching the debate, I'll just kind of remind you to go check down there, and then I'll use the random comment picker. First person I have is Slotted Up 503. He's sitting at 37 subs right now. This guy is slowly starting to grind to get content out there. He's becoming active in more folks' live streams. This is that Spider-Man booth unboxing, which we all tend to like to watch because we want to see if we really get $30 out of our purchases there. The second person that I've got linked in the chat or in the description is Mason from Comics and Crosses. And I did not link his most recent video, but I want to say a week to 10 days ago, he did an analysis of Philadelphia from a like Christian biblical perspective. And I'm not a big religious person. You know, I went to church occasionally in high school, and then when I had to start working on Sundays, didn't do that. And then am the casual, like, Easter, Christmas only crowd. But I really liked the way that he made some of these biblical passages approachable in a non-proselytizing fashion. Like, he's not sitting there like, you should do this and love Jesus. He is sitting there talking about Philadelphia, one of the books that a lot of us really love, and looking at it through a religious lens, and kind of talks about how some of the imagery from the book can align with imagery from the Bible. The third featured channel in the description is DJ Linx. He's got 280 subs, and he's unboxing some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles previews exclusive toys, which is a sick video. But I like this guy because he's always got good boxes. He's always got good analysis of what he's, you know, talking about or pulling out. And this guy's got some of the sickest background music in the game. And I think, you know, you should check him out. And the fourth and final person that, if you go to their video and comment with the hashtag Poser Says Hi, is Vincent McLean, the Comic Machine. 7 hours ago, he posted the video describing what he's doing for his 200 subscriber giveaway. So I would heavily encourage you to go check that out and participate. That he's someone who, again, is starting to get involved all over the place. I love his Monday conversations on particular books. I think it was a couple Mondays ago where I listened to him and Greg, the Bearded Comic Bro, talk about Once and Future. So he's someone that does some unboxing things, some haul videos, but he also does deep dive analyses on running comic titles that I love those because they are timeless. Let's see. Chaos Worship Satan. We're not surprised by that. Cat 60, I got your package in the mail today. We will no longer have to declare war on the U.S. Postal Service. What's up, Freaky Loey? Yep, today I am rocking my commemorative Edward the Comic Jabroni Turtle Club shirt because I got too fat to wear the one that I bought in an extra large when version 2 came out, that I gained back some of my COVID weight that I lost. Bearded, you're a featured channel in the 500 subscriber giveaway. You know that. And Cole didn't believe that I was putting him on a trash can and purposely linking Burrito and Bearded Comic Bros channels backwards. All right. So I see we've got a couple of folks in the chat, and we will try and start as close, or in the green room, we will try and start as close to 8 o'clock as possible, or 9 o'clock your time. So I see he's got everything all set up. We have a new judge in the midst tonight. We have gotten an international flair with our competition tonight. And if Lee is there and hasn't walked away from his computer, I'm going to introduce everybody to Lee from Whack Comics, who yesterday, 2 days ago, celebrated his 100 subscriber giveaway. So, Lee, you there, bud?
How you going?
What time is it in Australia at this moment? Is it like 8 a.m.?
It's 11 a.m. on a Friday.
On Friday, yeah. I knew you were in the future, but I couldn't remember how far. So if there are folks in the chat who aren't familiar with you, you want to tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do?
Yeah, sure. So, I'm Lee from Whack Comics. I do comic book reviews, but with a bit of a twist. You know, just trying to do something completely different to everyone else out there. But you know, some of the stuff can be a bit entertaining. Some can be a bit shocking. You know, it's up to you. But go check it out. It's not just me. I've also got my co-host Tyler, Shattered Glass Comic Reviews. He's joined us now, and I think he's elevated the channel big time. I love all the episodes that he's been doing. So yeah, should go and check out the things that we're doing.
You should. And last week, Lee was one of the featured channels for you to check out. This was the gentleman who was putting comics on his body to create literal comic book t-shirts.
Yeah.
So hopefully you all enjoyed that, and really I had to share it with all of you because it was one of those things that when you see it, you can't unsee it. So I see we've got all of our other participants.
I'm looking forward to seeing your comic book t-shirt, by the way.
I mean, I'll show you my Flab Dad bod, and that's where I'll go from 400 subscribers to YouTube banning my account.
As I was editing the video, I was like, why didn't I wear a singlet or anything underneath? Like, what's wrong with me? Oh, it's out there now. It's a part of the YouTube history.
Yep, you committed to your art. All right, here we are. It's the top of the hour, which means it's time for this. All right, so in our first debate tonight, we've got two of my personal favorite channels duking it out on a topic that I think is kind of interesting, and I'm looking to be informed because I know a little bit about the topic, but I don't know a whole lot in depth, so they are working with a very blank slate in me. So debating the topic, which is the, whoops, I clicked on a notification and it opened up something else. Which is the best DC Misfit team-up, Doom Patrol or Suicide Squad? Entering the stream first, he is the 15th seed. He received what he is claiming is his first comic book game show win ever after solidly taking down Metaphorical, the ringleader of the Midnight Mafia, on a tough 3-0 decision. The man, the myth, the legend of Discovery Bay, JB.
How you doing, everybody? Thanks for having me on. I am as ready as I'm going to be tonight. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be fun. And at the end, don't forget, we had a good time.
All right. I like that. I like how you find the way to naturally add "we had a good time" everywhere. Whereas
you gotta work it in there. It's gotta work in the new slogan.
Me at the end.
How you doing, Wack? Nice to see you.
You too, man.
Me at the end, I just like, we had fun. Go away.
Go away.
I wish I had the sweet, smooth talking NPR voice of JB. All right. And bringing in the only channel that is a pair or more remaining. The man who was hands down the most prepared because he probably is still pissed about the last debate round he ever lost in high school and was coming back with a vengeance. From Comic Burrito, we've got Todd, and then he tried to shave it off, but it came back with a vengeance, and he's trying to act like he can read.
Cole.
Oh,
Cole. Hey, guys.
Hey.
I was just reading some Misfit comics.
Ha ha ha. I'd make you all big, but there are two of you, so we'll let...
Cool shirt.
Nice.
Because of your pandering, we'll let Todd give the burrito intro.
You shilled too much to the point where you're gone. Hey, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. We hope that you really enjoy getting wrapped up with us because apparently we're putting our slogans and working them in, and I think I did a really good job. Yeah, so let's get wrapped up with it and have a good old time.
There we go.
All right.
You got it twice.
Yeah. That's the most of the debate is just going to say wrapped up.
I forgot to mention that Comic Burrito was also successful, that via the random seating, both of these debates were technically upsets. And you both took down your opponents on a 3-0 decision. So the higher seed remaining is Comic Burrito.
Oh.
And they will get to call the very official coin flip. So I will...
It never
fails.
I will share my screen and we'll see if Tails never fails.
Here we go.
Hey, Burrito boys.
What up, Wack?
It's good to be on the screen with these guys.
I know, right?
Here we go. Preparing to flip.
Here we go.
It's Tails.
Hey.
So, Comic Burrito, will you be speaking first or speaking second?
We'll defer.
We'll go second, is what he means.
We'll defer.
Yeah, because I think you said that last time, and I was like, all right.
No, that's somebody else said defer, and it was a whole thing.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Gorilla Todd.
It might be, and Todd knows how dumb I am. Todd has witnessed me at my all kinds of worst on the Midnight Mafia. So here's what we're gonna do, Lee. I'm gonna kick you to the background for the debate.
Can we go over the rules real quick with the 2 minutes, 1 minute through 30 second, 2 minute, 1 minute.
Yeah, it's all you get 30 seconds for everything, JB.
Just 30 seconds. I get 30 seconds for everything.
And just talk about how good Doom Patrol is.
Oh my god.
JB, you will speak first. You get 3 minutes to make your opening argument as to why Doom Patrol is supreme. Then
Suicide Squad.
We're Doom Patrol.
Suicide Squad. God damn it, Cole. Hold on.
I'll mute myself.
All right. So you get 3 minutes to defend the Suicide Squad, and then half of the Burrito will ask you a question for 2 minutes. Then the Burrito will talk for 3 minutes. You get 2 minutes to ask questions. Then it's a pair of dueling 2 minute speeches where you will attack or respond to your opponent's arguments. And then we have the option for an additional 2 minute questioning period. And then after that last bit of questions, you each give one final pitch, one final Hail Mary to persuade the audience on your point for 2 minutes. Good?
I got
All right. Lee, I'm going to bump you to the back. You'll be able to hear everything once the debate has ended. If you type in the private chat, just, that you've decided not what your decision is, but you're done and ready to go, then I'll start wrapping everything up. So I am going to bump you back there. Thank you, Lee. All right. I'm gonna make you bigotized, and who's gonna be asking questions first, Cole or Todd?
I believe Cole's doing the first cross exam.
All right, so I'm gonna bump you out, and then I'll let Cole back in. All right.
All right.
I have too many things to click on. I'm too small of a screen. All right.
It's tough, isn't it, to direct the show like this?
I know.
I tell you what.
I was
Next year, just have
watching you
JB on to direct
yesterday.
it for you.
Well, watch the shows that I'm producing that I'm not in them.
Yeah.
And that's why the guy can actually interview somebody, because he's not trying to fucking click here and check the chat and your head's bouncing all over the place. And
Yeah.
I feel
When
you.
I saw you yesterday have those issues, I was like, I can relate to that.
I read
'cause that
the
is
whole
me.
Instagram tag of the day without having the Instagram up. 10-minute read, the whole thing.
It was.
All right, let's
fun.
get to this. You guys ready?
All right. I'll start it when you start it, my guy.
All right, here we go. Take a deep breath. Enjoy it. All right, here we go, folks. So, first of all, thank you for having me, and welcome everybody who is joining us live. This is going to be fun. Today, I was chosen to be part of this event where I get to speak to the best DC Misfit team. So let's break down that best DC Misfit team. To do that, we need to know what the word misfit means. So I went to define it. A person who's either a person whose behavior or attitude sets them apart from others in an uncomfortably conspicuous way. And then, of course, we know what team is, right? Being able to achieve a goal. So we're talking best DC. Okay, so if I'm going to research this, and I have two sides, Suicide Squad, which was the side I was given. I get to choose, right? I was given this side. Or Doom Patrol, I figured I'll go to the source. I'll go straight to Google and let's research these two terms. Let's research them. And you know what I found out? I found out that one's been trending a lot longer and for a much greater rate than the other. It just happened to be the side I was arguing. So, all right, that's kind of cool. But you know what? Let's go back to the history. People said last time I used smoke and mirrors and didn't talk about the comic books. So I said, this time I'm going to talk about the comic books. Let's go to the DC website and search these two key terms. And on the DCcomics.com website, as I searched both Doom Patrol, which had 371 results, by the way, on the official DC Comics website, and I searched Suicide Squad, 844 results on that site. That piece of information told me something already of the importance to DC with regards to this team. So now we go into the history of it. And you know what? The very first appearance for the Suicide Squad was in The Brave and the Bold, number 25 in 1959, and it predates the first appearance of the Doom Patrol. So yes, it was first. And I like to bring that up because also as you come to the end of it, as I decided, let's go to the LCS and say, hey, give me your last, latest, and greatest issue of Suicide Squad and Doom Patrol. They could only produce one, really. One is still currently being produced, Suicide Squad, the one I'm actually arguing. The other one was actually canceled back in October of 2019, but did release its final issue just in July, so it's not even in publication anymore. So when we talk about the question once again, what was the best DC team? I think DC has answered the question for us by telling us what's currently in publication. Suicide Squad. Thank you.
All right. Give me 2 seconds to do this. All right. You've got 2 minutes to ask questions, Cole. I will bounce back in when there's around 10 seconds left. All right.
Yep. All right. So you had mentioned that Suicide Squad came out before Doom Patrol, which is true. In 1959, there was a Suicide Squad. But would you say that is the same Suicide Squad people know today?
No, it is not.
Would you say that that was a war team that was in this comic book?
That is correct.
And would you say that a war team is a misfit team?
A war team is a misfit in its current
In that comic, would that Suicide
1959
team be considered
Probably
a
not.
misfit team?
Probably not.
Okay. So do you know when the current run of Suicide Squad started?
The current run of Suicide Squad started in the 80s, I do believe. I don't actually have that written down.
It is 87.
87. Okay.
So if we're just going to talk about that, I would say that still like the iteration of Doom Patrol that is right started then. Now you said like team, and you were saying the Suicide Squad is a better team, but the definition of team is like coming together to achieve a common goal. Would you say that the Suicide Squad are coming together to achieve a common goal, or do you think they're all working for themselves?
Well, no, absolutely they are a team because under the direction of the proper leader, which they do have in Amanda Waller and Rick Flag, they accomplish these goals, each giving something of themselves to the greater good, which is also part of being a team.
I guess they're under threat also, but would you consider a jury?
The beauty of it, though, is hold on. The beauty of it that I think is you almost helped me with my own definition is that you have a hard time seeing them as a team, but they're a misfit team. They're the definition of a misfit team.
So when you defined misfit, you said it's usually people that like make other people uncomfortable, right? Similar to what you were saying. Would you say that like people like the Harley Quinn, who's in multiple other teams, would also be considered a misfit because of that?
I do think Harley Quinn is a misfit,
even though she's in other teams.
Agree. Yes, and I think that's okay. That's okay to be part of multiple teams.
All right. Who's speaking first, Todd or Cole?
Todd.
Hey.
Okay.
I'll get my teleprompter ready.
All right. I can
Jack.
stand that. All right. I'm gonna bigotize you.
Hey, I could have had bells and whistles. I could have threw up a trending chart or something. Come on, guys.
If you advance to the semifinals, that's your job, JB, to add some graphic class to this stream. Since
fireworks and such.
I am the
caveman. Still out of
caveman.
my fingers. You guys have seen it. Come on.
All right. I'll start when you start, Todd.
All right. So Doom Patrol is by far and away the better Misfits group over Suicide Squad, also known as Task Force X, because Doom Patrol at its core is about being a misfit. Yes, Suicide Squad, under the definition that a person whose behavior or attitude sets them apart from others in an uncomfortably conspicuous way, yes, they definitely fall under that definition. They don't embody that definition. You wouldn't say the Joker is a misfit. Yes, they are a misfit, but they have bigger terms: villains, murderers, genocidal maniacs, big things that you really wouldn't like. Yes, they're a misfit, but that's not really how you would define them. That'd be very low on the list. Whereas over and over again, Doom Patrol is classified as a misfit. The Atlantic calls Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol the craziest superhero story ever told. Den of Geek calls them the misfit heroes of the DC universe. Their tagline in 1963 was the world's strangest heroes. That was what they were founded on. It wasn't something that they like started as a one team and then evolved into it, which is fine. That's a perfectly good way to go. I'm not saying that they aren't an interesting and compelling team, but when it comes to actually being misfits, it being the core tenet of who they are, that's Doom Patrol all the way. Misfits, it's just Doom Patrol. They are synonyms almost. They could even be argued to being the inspiration for the X-Men, because Doom Patrol precedes the X-Men. Suicide Squad has a shark dude, a fire dude, a magic user, a guy who's really good at shooting, a woman with mental disorders and PTSD. Those are definitely misfits and all of that, but they're not really that weird for a comic book universe. In a comic book universe, that's pretty like standard vanilla people. Whereas a quick list of Doom Patrol's personas: we have a race car driver whose brain was put into a robot, a test pilot who was irradiated and can shoot his soul out of his body, a gold medal swimmer who was exposed to volcano gases on a movie shoot that gives her the ability to grow and shrink, a schizophrenic with 64 personalities, each with their own powers, a person who looks like a chimp and can make her imaginary friends real, a sentient street that can move all over the globe and assimilate itself into the area, a street. One of their heroes is a fucking road. A person who can shape reality by flexing their muscles. They flex and then the world changes. And then a teleporter who knows that they are in a comic. So obviously they are the better Misfit group because damn, there's no beating how weird and how amazing this group of Misfits are. Not at all.
I'm sorry.
All right, same deal, JB. I'll start the timer when you start asking questions. I'll pop back in when there's about 10 seconds left.
2 minutes, right? Okay. So my first question for you, and you know what? I think I'd be willing to give some time to this. You gave a brief description at the end of some of the abilities of the Doom Patrol. I am not familiar with the Doom Patrol that much because really I was focusing on what I thought the core of the question was, which was what is the best DC team? And again, when we talk about DC team, tell me what is the big future for this particular franchise for DC?
I mean, they have an amazing television show.
Do they? What channel is it on?
It's on HBO Max.
That's cool. So they have a television show. So they're developing properties for the streaming television market. That's awesome. Are they developing any major motion pictures for this franchise?
No, but honestly, that sounds terrible, and I would hate that. This is such a weird group that
again, I'm coming back to the core. I'm coming back to the core of DC. What was the best DC?
But that's
team?
not the core of the.
One more question.
The core of the question is best Misfits team, though. You can't. Take out
I want to use all the words. That's why I'm leaving the word DC in there. The best DC Misfits team. So if they were the best DC Misfits team, are they making video games out of this property?
No, because they're Misfits.
No, well, I mean, DC is not their best Misfit team. Their best Misfit team is Suicide Squad. That's why they're making video games.
So what makes money makes
their motion pictures. That's why they're still publishing their comic books.
Oh, the one that's ending soon? Cool. Yeah.
It's not ending soon. It's still in publication. So,
is there a question?
No, that was the point I was making. That I did ask.
Are you just going into your next 3 minutes? Where's my question?
I asked the question was, did they have a property coming? Were they developing a comic book? Were they developing a movie? Were they, what else was coming
Squad's
up
about
this franchise?
Done, and then
remember, what is the importance to DC?
Yeah, they're the best Misfits group. Suicide Squad's great. They aren't a Misfits group.
Okay.
All right, JB, you've got 2 minutes to make your second round of arguments where you can attack what Todd said. You can defend what you said. You can do a little bit. Let's go back
to Misfits again. And he talked about, and he went into the cast of characters, and he kind of discounted them. But this is again from the DC Comics website, and we talk about the current cast and future cast going forward. But the current cast of characters, again, we're not gonna live in the past. I don't care about the war heroes in the 50s. We're talking about what's going on now, what's being developed now, what is the future now of DC, what is the best Misfit team they have, the one that they're promoting now. This is what we've got. They've got Deadpool, the precise marksman and assassin, Harley Quinn, where everybody knows she's psychotic villain, Captain Boomerang, lethal weapons, Enchantress, powerful sorceress, and then you get Rick Flag, who's the elite soldier. And you ready for this? He's the only member that's not even a supervillain. How cool is that? Honestly, how cool is that? We have a team of supervillains that are accomplishing goals under the direction of Amanda Waller. DC is developing this. You can still go read it in the comic book stores right now. It's clearly their best Misfit team as they continue to put money into this property. I'm just going with that. And also, I wanted to mention, if you're going to talk about characters in general, I'd say combined between the two rosters, there's probably not very many A-listers. Do you agree? I think everyone can be in agreement. But if you go down, I think Suicide Squad has more B-listers, and you get to Doom Patrol, and you're probably talking more C-list characters. Again, going back to the overall arc of which is the best DC Misfit team, DC is spending all their time on their best team, which is Suicide Squad. That's it.
All right, Todd, is it you again or is it Cole?
For talking, because we're not doing a cross exam for this one, correct?
Not until after the next speech.
Okay, then Cole has the next point.
All right. Whoops, same deal, Cole. I'll make you big, and then I'll start the timer when you start talking.
So I just want to point this out that in November, Tom Taylor's Suicide Squad run is ending because DC did not think it was good enough to keep going. As you mentioned, these C-listers, I think C-listers help build this misfit profit that we're talking about. I actually Googled 100 must-read DC comic books, and in the first four things that came up, Grant Morrison's run of Doom Patrol was in NPR's top 100 must-read. When it also had Doom Patrol by Morrison at 68 and 79 for Suicide Squad in the what is it or what it was cool. So that's once again putting a Doom Patrol for quality. While they might not have the quantity, they still have quality comics. I also found one. The third option was from Hollywood Reporter. They did rate a Suicide story higher, but they had 3 Doom Patrol things within that list. So once again, more quality Doom Patrol. And then Comic Book Herald also had Doom Patrol at 5 and 213, while Suicide Squad was only at 158. So I mean, when we're talking about quality of comic books, I think Doom Patrol has that. We actually polled on Twitter, what's the first thing you think of when someone says Suicide Squad? The biggest thing people said was Harley. A lot of people said a run or a panel, which is great. The next biggest response was how bad their movie was, which Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 26% from critics, 58% from viewers. IMDb is at a 6, where Doom Patrol's TV show is 96% on critics, 74% on audience. IMDb is 7.9. So if we're talking about quality products that are still coming out, I get that James Gunn is making a Suicide Squad movie, but that could be just as terrible as the other one that they have. Doom Patrol is not meant for a movie. They're misfits that need a TV show. And I think this TV show is putting a very solid product out there. I mean, just other things when we're talking about, you know, like Beast Boy came from Doom Patrol because he was a misfit that was getting
Judge, can we mute this guy?
I was seeing if he would. Is he still talking?
He's still going.
In my defense, you normally put like 5 seconds there, so I was trying to get my final point. It's hard to look at your glary screen and know there's no time there. Sorry, I assumed I still had 10 seconds, like you gave everyone else 10
I'm writing
seconds.
your arguments down, Princess Cole.
I'm just saying.
Todd's laughing in the background. All right. I'll give you 2 minutes for a final slugfest because I really like watching the chat talk about JB getting double fisted and all of those things. So
what are you telling me? I have 2 minute, one more 2 minute thing, and then he's going to ask me questions again.
You both are going to go back and forth asking questions, really like you both really did in your cross-examination periods anyway. And then you each have one final 2 minute speech.
Oh, so I got 4 more minutes to talk to this?
Well, you have this Q&A period, and then you have 2 minutes to give your closing argument, and then done.
All right, so we're in Q&A period. Am I asking first set of questions? Is that where we're at?
It does not matter whoever asks the first question.
Oh, this is just open 2 minute Q&A?
Open forums.
Yes, and Todd's mad that I'm not letting him in, but I haven't let any of the other teams participate.
Tell me when the 2 minutes starts. Tell me when
you let us choose who gets to ask the questions.
Who wants to ask the first question? I don't give a shit. Just somebody ask a question and I'll start a timer.
By the way, folks, 2 brains are better than 1, right? I mean, come on. It's hard enough I got to go up against 1 brain. Now I got to go up against 2, and they're collaborating.
Normally you let other people switch in for questions, so that's what I was trying to say.
So you want Todd to be the questions and you disappear?
I don't know, man. Just tell me where we're going with it.
Whoops. Nope, I'll let that happen, and we'll see how the people feel in the chat.
Come on.
Cool. What up, man?
What up, Todd? What do you got for me? You go first. Ask me a question.
My biggest problem with it being called the best DC Misfits team is the fact that, 1, they have bombs in their head and they're forced to do things. that's not doesn't really like scream go team go to me.
Yeah.
Also, how does that? Okay, cool. They're disparate people, and they are combined a group of misfits when they're together. But then they have things implanted in their heads. They're forced against their will to do things that they don't want. How does that make them the best team? It makes them a compelling group of people. I do like the Suicide Squad. I'm not. I don't want to crap on them at all. I love Doom Patrol way more, but Suicide Squad is interesting. How are they a best DC Misfits team when they're barely associated and barely a team?
Well, I was again basing my research based on what was important in my mind to DC, and as I researched the DC websites to get information on these two subjects, it was over the top that they have spent a lot more time investing in current media, by the way, as websites and streaming media and movies, and they've spent more time on this property than the other, which tells me to DC, which I thought is what the debate was about, to DC, this is the better Misfit team, because I do absolutely categorize Suicide Squad as a Misfit team based on just the craziness of the concoction of the personalities. We're talking about a bunch of supervillains, and I know they got things in their neck, but still, it is a team. And yes, these are a bunch of crazy misfits by definition of the word misfit. Each and every one of them fits it. Even the new additions to this team of being Black Manta, Joker's daughter, and Deathstroke still sit in misfits.
I got to talk too much. Let him go a little longer. Give him a minute.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Also, the question isn't best to DC. It's best.
No. That's why I read it. You know, it's a best DC team. Best DC team.
Not to DC.
Misfit team.
I'm just going to keep muting Todd because he's trying to give a bonus speech. I will say that I'm just going to leave K. Titus's comment up there because I think K. Titus wins the debate. K. Titus is advancing to the semifinals with his commentary on marriage.
The Suicide Squad.
All right. JB,
Nice.
You have 2 minutes to make your final pitch as to why the Suicide Squad is the superior DC Misfit team.
The superior DC Misfit team. First of all, that was news to me, by the way. I do want to throw out news to me that Suicide Squad that is currently being published right now is going to be terminated in December. I did not know that, but I did know that Doom Patrol was terminated as of October of last year. So they were on their way out. They're not being written anymore right now. Yes, they're going to be on HBO Max, which is super kind of cool, but it's not the same as getting a cool video game, which you got to admit looked awesome during the online fan event. And the trailer for the new movie was off the chain. It's still currently in publication. This is clearly the best DC Misfit team defined by DC as if you were going to go search these properties, there's 844 pieces of content related to Suicide Squad on the DC website. It's only 371 to Doom Patrol. I know you're going to tell me quantity over quantity, but there's also what is the future? The future is the video games and everything. And man, Suicide Squad looks like it's the best DC team going right now, in my opinion. You can have the last 45 seconds, my friend.
What a gentleman.
Sorry, I was writing. All right, who's giving the last speech, Todd or Cole?
We can let Colby take up.
Go at the same time, guys. Why don't you just go at the same time?
Oh, that's a good idea. We'll be stereo.
Competing points that, you know. I'm okay. Give me each a minute. How about that?
No, why am I big? Ah! All right, Cole. Todd deferred to you. Your final 2 minutes begin now.
And as JB has mentioned, like, yes, DC is putting more money into Suicide Squad. But the question is, what is DC's best Misfit team up? And even if we're talking about quality of stuff, the Suicide movie, I think everyone can agree, it's pretty bad. Doom Patrol is a TV show. Pretty good. When we're talking about great runs of comics, lots of people talk about the Doom Patrol run by Grant Morrison, a great run of comics. I mean, there are other great runs of Suicide Squad too, but when we're talking about quantity over quality, I'll always prefer quality. I don't want to read a bunch of garbage trash comics, and that's what a lot of Suicide Squad has been over the years. I mean, even their best character, Harley Quinn, is far superior in her own TV show that is a cartoon that's far better than all their other stuff. Just because DC is putting money into this property does not make them the best Misfit team. The best Misfit team is the Doom Patrol. They took people like Beast Boy when he was getting made fun of at school and couldn't fit in anywhere, told him how to hone in his power so that they came and added him to Teen Titans. They're a team of fellow Misfits that work together to help people. And when it comes down to it, even Superman has came in. When he was talking about no A-listers, Superman has been in Doom Patrol comics to help them. They've had, coming in with A-listers. They also have Cyborg in their TV show, which, while it might be a bastardization of the Cyborg we know from Justice League and the movies, I mean, if we're fighting, technically he's a member of Doom Patrol. He's in the Justice League movie. That's better, I would say, than Suicide Squad movie. And I mean, granted, James Gunn might make a good movie. We don't know. They might make a good video game. We don't know. Both of these properties could be trash. And just to end it, Den of Geeks called Doom Patrol a guide to the misfit heroes of the DC universe.
All right, I'll let everybody in there. I like Chaos's comment now.
That's so
We're
good.
such fucking nerds for doing things like this. Or I like Biggie Shaq's alteration to the format. Just give everybody 5 minutes in a Google search. I'm a big fan of that one. So, Lee, in the private chat, once you know who you are voting for, you can just type in the private chat you've made your decision. I am going to copy the link for the chat to vote, and that is going to go out now.
OBS crashed.
Oh, that's what happened? Oh, bummer.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
straight up crashed.
And
OBS,
JB, never seen
my
it again.
my MacBook doesn't like OBS, but I think it's because it's like a 5-year-old MacBook.
It doesn't like being open with YouTube's chat open also. It just doesn't like it. It's okay if I take the chat and I load it up into OBS and show it in there, but if I have that second window open, and it's not happy.
It just blows up.
All right.
Man.
Lee has noted that he's made his decision, but I'm going to let the chat do their thing for a few moments.
By the way, gentlemen, great job. Great job.
Yeah,
You too. That's
You
fun.
guys are awesome. I was definitely scared going into this because I knew you guys were going to be super prepared and ready to go, and I had no background on, either of these teams really because I don't read either of them. So, great
The
job,
hardest
man.
thing was
It
just
a lot of fun.
preparing for how to
Lot of fun.
defend against you.
Well, I mean, it's still 2-1. You should take all your votes and cut them in half because there was no joking.
I think it's fair.
I mean, if you had multiple, we were forced to actually do this. We asked if we could be solo and have multiples of us come in.
So, again, we want to thank everybody who's joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for
It's super fun
vamping
getting to see
JB
the
while I do
chat.
this.
It's awesome.
Yes. And I did want to mention one thing, Mr. Remy. The
Mhm.
link in your description to my channel is no bueno.
It's all channels.
Oh,
It's
no.
not just yours. You're not alone. It's all of us.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
went to
Because
click
they
on
clipped
yours
it.
to try and figure out when you were going today, and it didn't work.
It doesn't work.
And then I clicked on ours, and ours didn't work. So I was like,
Is it-
I just won't
Yeah.
complain about it.
So I'll ask JB this
good.
question then, since he does more like using the same show layout in a description. Anytime that you shorten a link or the YouTube shortens the link in the chat, okay. So that's my problem. I just copied and pasted from the previous one. So I'll go.
That doesn't work.
So
I
have
just
to go
tried to
back
put mine
my
in there.
original
Someone's
list.
got to show it though. One of the admins would have to show it.
I don't know. Like I think I.
Oh, I don't have the OBS on now. Oh man, forget it. Damn.
All right, chat. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds to make your decision. And only 16 people have voted, and the chat is currently tied.
Oh my God.
Come on, people.
Amazing.
So this debate could be decided by the coin flip again. Or I'll roll a d20 since I've got one of those sitting on
Yeah,
my table.
D&D time. Can we? I was trying to like. There's got to be a more fun way than a coin flip to figure it out.
That coin flip was huge, by the way, guys. Going
Let's-
last was really important.
Maybe. Oh, now it's 9-9.
Hilarious.
I'll vamp for a second, and maybe I'll give you all a new topic, and you can prepare and give one speech apiece.
Yeah.
Although I know that we're in
Come on,
JB's
folks.
blackout tone or blackout time, so I don't want to give JB family aggro for.
No, come on, folks. Let's get that vote in. Come on down.
All
Get the
right.
vote in. Thanks, Biggie. Appreciate it. Even though the OBS is off now, so I wouldn't get the super cool thank you. God, that pissed me off.
All right, I'm gonna refresh it one more time, and then I'm gonna go back to
Oh,
the
yeah.
screen where I can turn it off. So you've got a whole 20 seconds to vote now, or
Here we go, folks. Vote for me.
forever
Or us,
hold your peace.
whoever you
Vote
think
for
is
who
the
you
best
think
debate.
was better.
No, vote for me.
Yeah. Screw that.
Screw that guy. Vote for me. Oh, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna make the deadline now.
It was so
There's
much
too
fun.
many
I really appreciate it. I know that you said you weren't familiar with the teams, but I do appreciate that you obviously prepared. Which
Yeah,
is,
I spent some time trying to figure out an argument that I thought I might be able to win because I wasn't going to win it on his argument is what I was afraid of, and it didn't come until the very end. I was like, no.
it's always good to leave those at the end.
Because the final one is like, what do you want to read? Where if what was the best? What's the best read?
Yeah, if you're going to pick it up, if you're going to recommend a trade from one of them,
Is
do
someone
it.
in the chat really going to recommend a Suicide Squad read over one of the Doom Patrol reads?
probably not. There's
All right.
definitely Suicide Squad fans out there. But
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, I've got everybody back in the stream.
what up, Wack?
Yo,
The chat, for as much shit as they were talking on everybody, they enjoyed the shit you were talking on each other. So that is always a good debate. And I will tell you, unbiasedly, there were more actual issues discussed in this short debate than both of the presidential series of debates combined.
Yeah, we did it,
So-
everybody.
I will bring on Lee. I will make him big. Lee, who did you vote for and why?
so it was hard to pick. It was hard to pick. Like I'm a member at Discovery Bay Comics, so I send money to JB monthly, and I'm always in the Burrito live chats chatting with them, and so I love both these channels. So it's hard to. So it was trying to be as unbiased as possible.
We love
So,
you either way.
Yeah, I really liked opening points from JB. So with his with hundreds more search results and the GC thing, but Burrito Boys pointing out quality over quantity, with the better runs, and I like JB pointing out the movies coming up and the video games. But the question, really was like the better Misfit team, and I think I'm going to have to give my vote to the Burrito Boys because of the them pointing out the bombs in their head doesn't really make them a Misfit team and doesn't really bring them together. That really made me laugh. The go team go, like we're going to get blown up if we don't do exactly what we're told, sort of thing. But so yeah, I think I'm going to have to give it to the Burrito Boys. For that, and also for Beast Boy and Cyborg, because they're a great addition from Doom Patrol.
All right.
Good stuff.
I'll go next because it will introduce a little bit of controversy into this. I vote for JB. I think JB's appropriation of the topic to make it the best DC Misfit team means the best Misfit team in the eyes of DC. that I think that was a really smart misdirection that he kept going for, that I feel like Todd and Cole only hammered away at during the questioning period, but not during the speech. So I liked the argument about like quantity versus quality doesn't matter. I would have loved to have seen JB make fun of places like Den of Comic Geek, because that would be like if someone cited my blog in a debate and they were like, this fucking dude likes this book. But I think, to me, the argument that DC is clearly constructing a future around the Suicide Squad and making that investment makes them the more important Misfit team. The only reason, like, I agree with Lee that the bombs in the head argument is a persuasive one, but since I'm thinking for my technical debate background, that was something that was introduced not in a speech but in a Q&A period. So I think had Todd or Cole sat on that more in the second or the final speech, I think that would have done enough to swing me their way, because they're sitting at kind of the quality arguments, which I think, you know, comparing those two, that if it would have been under your definition of Misfit, they're not a Misfit team because they're coerced, I think that would have been more persuasive, but I think they didn't develop that argument for me well enough, early enough, and now Biggie Shack can bite me because he says that I'm a comic burrito shill, but that only proves that I will equally vote against my friends as I will my enemies. So it comes down to the chat, and on a 11 to 10 vote,
Would you all
the
voted for
Doom Patrol and Comic Burrito sneaks by.
Congratulations.
Sneaky Pete.
Thank you. Holy
Thank you, chat.
That
Thank you,
was
chat.
that was a good debate. I enjoyed it a bunch. Like,
my getting the vapors.
I thought that said
Someone
wet
said he went
wanker, and
wanker.
I was like, oh, what's Lee doing? All right, so Burrito Boys, I'm gonna bounce you to the back for a second. We'll talk to JB, and then I'll bring you back on. All right, JB, how do you feel about today's decision?
Well, you know, I tried, man. I was really looking at it. Keep in mind, everybody who is watching this format, you don't get to choose. You know, I didn't choose which side. I didn't get to pick the side. They pick the side. You get what's left. You know, I got to eliminate a top team. So you have to fight with what you got. And I was trying to find an angle in which I could win. And I thought my only angle really there was that this was a DC property that they're behind, and there's James Gunn and the movies, and they're putting in, and it's still in publication. And that's where I was really going to try and hammer that point home. But ultimately, I mean, from what I read, because based on my research, Doom Patrol's has some great reads. I mean, and they are on a couple of top 10 lists, you know, not just the goofy site they cited, but they are on a couple top 10 lists. And hey, you know, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on, man. It was good stuff.
All right, I enjoyed having you, and I know that you are dealing with a flexible time schedule because your children in school, but I will note that I kind of like the nerd news element of what you've got going on, that I think that also, I think that's got to be a little bit more interesting for you instead of going through the same process every day. That
it is.
Even if
it helps mix it up.
Stuff,
it gives me a hot topic that I can try and keyword, you know, and again try and rank in some search, because I'm trying to chase some hot topics during the course of the week. I'm having fun with it. Yeah,
and like I said, I like it in the same way I sing the praises of everybody else once they get knocked out of the tournament. I think I would be willing to say that I don't think I would have had the level of growth or exposure with some of my content if it wasn't, you know, you putting on a playlist and people could go back and see those things. So I think, like I said, K Titus is doing some of the Lord's work and shouting out all of the different millions of people that he watches. I think you are one of the good pillars of the community in terms of helping support and bring people together and help everybody grow. And I'll tell you that I'm grateful for that because you've helped make my podium bigger. You've helped me feel like I have more of a voice, and for that, I'm very, very appreciative.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I really do. And everybody in the chat who voted for me, and even the ones that didn't, I do appreciate you guys for being here. And I am going to bounce out, but you know what I got to say? If you don't remember anything that happened in the last hour, don't forget, we had a good time. Peace, everybody.
All righty. Thank you, JB. All right, I'll bring the victorious portions of the burrito in. Gentlemen, how do you feel with your victory this evening and advancing to the semifinals?
Oh, I feel good, but I knew that was going to be close.
I mean, it's the same thing that Bearded had to deal with last week. Like, JB is one of the most likable people in this entire tournament. So, like...
And then he comes prepared on top of it.
Yeah.
It's really not fair.
And he's very charismatic, and we're just two oafs from the Midwest drinking beer and having weird facial hairs. Well, Todd has a nice beard, and I just have a mustache.
I was like, whoa, speak for yourself. This is tamed glory.
Yeah. So you all, I'm going to guess, are going to be anxiously watching the next debate, as the victor of this debate is who you will face in the semifinals. So if I were to put you on the spot right now,
neither.
You don't think either? You want to face neither of them?
I don't want to go against either of them.
I mean, I think people hate
I
Chaos
don't want
more
Chaos the most because he's on our Discord also. We always are going back and forth with Chaos, and I'm really excited to see how mean he'll be when he actually has some stakes in it. Because he's already really mean.
Yeah, I think I would pay good money to watch Chaos just tear you all apart. Because that would be funny to me. But I think I don't know if you all watched Gorilla Todd's first debate.
I did.
Gorilla Todd leaned in with his experience of judging some debates out there in the great state of Nevada. So I think it will be good. Bearded is making fun of you because you're a team of two complaining about things being not fair, and Chaos says he's not mean, he's confrontational. And Biggie Shack said, wait for me to prove him wrong and going on a ledge. Hey, man, if there's one thing that I've learned in my 20 years of debating and judging debates in high school and college, it's that my job is to be on the bottom end of 2-1 decisions all the time. So I'll take it because that means fewer people want me to judge them in the future. And that means on Saturday and Sunday this weekend, I can spend more time reading comics instead of listening to kids lie about criminal justice.
Is that a natter day?
It is a natter day. I switched from a hams to a natter day. So
yeah, even though Biggie Shack is giving us all the shit in the world and everyone's been rough in the chat, I love you all because it's making me laugh while I'm trying to like make my points, and I'm like trying not to also like rib back the chat. And this is amazing and super fun. So I'm really glad we get to do another week. And I'm terrified of either one that we get to go against because they're both going to be. It's gonna be a fight.
Nice.
And Chaos, you're not mean. You're.
I'm gonna kick myself out the stream for a second so the two of you can take over and tell everybody where and when they can see you.
We are always live streaming Wednesdays at 9 EST and Saturdays at 10 EST. We usually do recorded stuff, but we have a holiday special thing coming up, which will be airing in 2 weeks-ish. Basically,
yeah, probably like the 21st of October it might start.
21st, right around there.
It might be spooky.
It might be spooky. So we'll have that going. So our recorded stuff will be coming back again the 21st, and then hopefully continuing after that. But we've been taking a break and just doing live streams up until for the last couple months. But yeah, so we're really excited. But catch us on Wednesdays and Saturdays and come to our Discord. It'll be in all of the descriptions of our things, and it's my favorite thing we've ever done.
We like to talk comics.
Videos are great, but the Discord's my favorite part of everything we've done. Only one of you get to promote the channel. All right.
And go see Greg's channel. He's got a beard too. It's not as good as Stoney Williams.
Oh.
All right, there you go, gentlemen. I'm gonna bounce you all, but congratulations. I will
Thank you, poster. Thank you,
give
everybody.
you information on the next round once this debate has concluded. So thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. Come get wrapped up with us.
Oh, yep. You had to jump that in because I cut Todd off. Biggie, I'll show you that I picked this up from Burke today. I showed it earlier, but as Biggie called it on D-Runk's live stream, my first certified big boy book. So I will take this and be excited. And I figure before I bring the next two channels on, I'll show another prize of the 500 subscriber giveaway. So I'm swapping a Spider-Man slab for a Spider-Man slab. Another portion of the grand prize in the 500 subscriber giveaway is Spectacular Spider-Man number 23. It is a 3.0 or a 9.0, and it's got like its only key things that are listed are that it's a Moon Knight and Cyclops appearance, but you've got a good cover by Keith Pollard and Frank Garcia. So that's another one that will be there. And then I'll show you after this debate a few other things that I will pop in for those of you who participate in the 500 subscriber giveaway. So as I wait for my bracket to refresh and we get ready for the second debate of the evening, I figure it's time to do this again. All right. Bringing into the stream first, he's one of my favorite people in comics only because he does not give a shit and will speak his opinion, and he gets this rep as the bad boy of comics when I think really on the inside he's sweet and innocent. And in his debate between Two Brothers Comics, he advanced with the solo judge picking the half-brother or the stepbrother as the judge, America's favorite letterer, Justin Birch, who would be here tonight, but he responded on Instagram and said, I got an email from my publisher that says I have 140 pages of a book to letter by Friday. And I was like, yeah, you do you, and you can get a beer when you're all done. So winning Justin Birch's ballot and my heart coming first into the stream, Chris from Chaos and Comics.
Hello, everybody.
How's it going tonight?
It's going a little rushed, but I guess that makes sense since we're doing Flash. That works out for the best.
That's true. So I saw you commented that Messi scored. Are you watching? Is it European qualifiers? Is it Champions League? What were you watching?
I was watching football in the Dodger game. Argentina's playing too, which I care about, but it's not on TV. So.
Oh, I'll show you some of my favorite sports.
You show yourself
streaming things
so we can see you.
You don't want to see me. And I like how Rob is now challenging the bad boy moniker that ain't none of us bad. And we'll say what's up to Kurt. I haven't seen him earlier, and yeah, we miss Boswell.
Hey, Kurt's here. All my friends are here.
All right.
No, Comics on the Mind. We're cool, but he's gonna vote for Gorilla Todd no matter how bad his argument is.
You never know. Maybe it could be good drama for tonight's episode of the Teacher's Lounge, which I think starts at 9 o'clock Pacific over on Gorilla Todd's channel. Because it's.
Let me make it clear. Just let me throw this out there. I taught ESL overseas for a couple years, so I'm a teacher too. I'd be allowed on that channel. Unless you have to be a teacher in America.
Nice. Well, and I think this is an all Vegas throwdown because you're in Vegas, right, Chris?
Todd's in Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
So we have a battle for who is the supreme comic nerd of Vegas.
Hey, if I would have known he was in Vegas, we should have just gone to like a bar and sat with our computers opposite each other.
And shouted about nerd shit. Maybe
that'd
that
be
happen again in the future, but introducing to the stream the man who is a last-minute replacement. He is the man who brings all of the heat and fire and great Headlights books to the Midnight Mafia. the man who is finally helping me get my missed first printing of Ice Cream Man number 20, the Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat cover, and one of the first other teachers that I met in the comic book game, who is victorious in his debate with the Superpower Review on a 2-1 decision, the Todd father himself, Gorilla Todd Comics.
He's probably from Henderson. Todd, you're from Henderson, aren't you?
No, I am not. Good evening.
You got anything else to say aside from good evening?
It's great to be here. I enjoy the show immensely. The previous debate was thrilling. I'm looking forward to my discourse with Chris. This is an exciting moment. I appreciate everybody in the chat being here, and thank you for putting the show on, Poser.
I appreciate it.
Now that you tell me that he's from Vegas, I could see he lives in the same type of tract housing I do.
All right. I will take it.
I actually live in the west side of town.
I'm on the west side too. North or south?
Mid.
Summerlin? I work at Summerlin across from like Samba Latte and stuff. So
I don't know where that's at. I've only been here a year.
on Charleston and Fort Apache.
Okay. My buddy lives right over there.
Yeah.
Cool.
We could
I'm in the Northwest.
We could have a Step Brothers moment in the making. Did we just become best friends?
We can be friends. This is just a fun debate.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You know,
I am gonna
which
share.
we probably should go to the same stores.
We
and know a
might.
lot of the same people. We definitely do, because I go to almost all of them. So
Well, what comic shop do you go to? That's where we go.
no, I'm telling you, I go to almost all of them.
So do I, but like, do you have a pool? Where do you have your pool box? Let's say that.
I have like 4 or 5 different ones.
Just name a goddamn comic store.
I go to Stunt Dog, Maximum, Fandomverse. Sometimes I go to Celestial. Sometimes Torpedo. Sometimes Velvet Underground. Sometimes
Those are my 4 also, right there.
Cosmic Comics.
Those are my 4 too. Fandomverse, and I go to Maximum still. So, and then I work by Celestial. So,
Nice. All right. So I believe the higher seed going into this debate is, as I click on every tab that's open, is Gorilla Todd. So Todd, you get to call the flip. Heads or tails, my sir?
Heads.
The coin has chosen tails. So Chris, would you like to speak first or second?
I'll speak second.
All
And
right.
then,
I'm gonna
just to clear it up, Dustin.
yes.
Just so I remember, we're gonna do each 3 minutes. Each get a question round against each other. We have a choice to skip where we just yell at each other, right?
Yes.
You want to skip that, Todd?
The yelling at each other.
Yeah, where we're supposed to just talk.
I have no need to yell at you.
Well, not yell, but we're just supposed to talk back and forth.
If you want to skip it, I'm fine with skipping it.
And then after that, it's closing.
Yes, sir.
And closing is how long?
2.
2 minutes. Gotcha. Okay.
So it's 3 with 2 minutes of questioning between, and then it's 2 back to back, and then 2 minute speeches back to back.
Okay, I got it. Perfect.
All right, I'm gonna open my timer. Todd, I will make you huge. The topic that is up for debate at the moment is who is the best Flash, Barry Allen or Wally West? Gorilla Todd will be defending Barry Allen, and Chaos and Comics will be defending Wally West. So, Todd, I'm going to make you huge size, and you are free to begin whenever you choose to.
Okay. Barry is the most culturally relevant Flash. Barry Allen is the Flash, more so than Jay, Bart, Wally, or anyone else that's ever been called the Flash. And there's been many, many versions of the Flash. Every time Hollywood makes a new property, virtually every time, Barry is the Flash that they use. Even when he came to television in 1991, played by John Wesley Shipp, the Flash was named Barry because Barry is the Flash. There is nobody who is more the Flash than Barry. He is the best Flash. Except for a few animated appearances where Wally West is usually left to comedy relief, Wally doesn't have much of an appearance in mainstream media. his comic book presence has been warped and changed recently over the last so many years that he's almost unrecognizable. He has been shifted on TV from the Flash television show to the Legends of Tomorrow, which is virtually on the verge of cancellation, and he didn't even stay on that show for whatever reason. You know, it wasn't important enough to keep him. I don't know if it was what it was, but he didn't stay on the show. Barry's been the standard character for decades. Let's remember who Barry is. He is the character who first appeared in Showcase number 4. Okay. That is the book that ushered in the Silver Age of comics. I don't know any heroes that have that on their show, on their accomplishments. His issue marks the beginning of the Silver Age. It's the first appearance of Iris West. It is the origin of the Silver Age Flash. Okay. Barry is twice the mentor that Wally ever was. If it wasn't for Barry's mentorship, Wally wouldn't have been half the person he was or half the hero he was. It's Barry's patience and methodical intelligence stemming from his background as a forensic scientist that enables him to go toe-to-toe with virtually anybody in the DC universe. He is respected like no other. He was a part of founding the Justice League. He is the Flash that is going to be in Hollywood in the movies.
All right. I will exit myself out and start the timer whenever Chaos starts asking questions. You got 2 minutes, my guy.
So it sounds like you believe that Barry, and you can rehash this word if you want, but it sounds to me like you believe that Barry Allen is the quintessential Flash.
To me, Barry Allen is the Flash.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of Flashes. That's one of either the weaknesses, but is he the quintessential Flash? Can you
define the word quintessential?
Huh?
Can you define the word quintessential?
From what you said, what everyone thinks about the base Flash, essentially the Flash that's used the most since he's the base Flash, like that seems to be the crux of your argument. Is that true or is that not true? Because I mean I listened to the 3 minutes. That's why I'm just confirming.
Right. I think he is culturally the most well known and identified as the Flash. But those things being culturally most well known and most identified as the Flash, to you that makes him the best. That's your argument. That is part of my argument.
What's the other part? Because I only heard that part.
Okay, well, I only have 3 minutes.
It sounded like you were slowing down at the end of 3 minutes. Okay, I'm done with questions.
I'll let Chaos take a good swig of his beer, swallow, and clear the bubbly out of his mouth. I'll reset my timer. All right, Chris, you've got three minutes.
No, don't start it yet.
I know. You let me finish my sentence. God, you're like one of my children cutting me off. It's going to say, you have your 3 minutes whenever you begin speaking. I don't know where he went, but I'm slightly terrified. But I will say that you've got a good discussion going on in the chat that Great Legend is dropping some good knowledge.
Did I take too long?
No, I was
Allen impression, because what we know today, what's meaningful about the Flash, the most important thing about the Flash is his speed. And it's gone back and forth, the whole speed thing. But most recently, not even in a race, during the Flash War, basically admitting it. And during the recent Trinity Death Metal comic too, basically admitting it that Wally West was the faster Flash. And that's the most important thing. What the Flash is his speed. That's great that Flash is chosen in movies and whatnot. He's the original, or he's not even the original, by the way. He's the first try at redefining the Flash from Jay Garrick, right? Wally West is the perfection of the Flash. So not only are his powers better, not only does he do Flash better power-wise. Wally West, I shouldn't have ran so fast. Now I'm all tired. Wally West is also the better Flash as a character. Barry Allen really, when Barry Allen's at his height, is when Wally West is there to prop him up. The vast majority of the best Flash stories contain Wally West, whether Barry Allen is the main protagonist or Wally West is. Another definition for me for best is also the best character. If you're going to build a character, this character needs to have a bunch of strengths and a bunch of weaknesses. So in the things that define the Flash, like speed and the time travel, multiverse stuff, that's become Wally West. But also something that defines a character is how good of a character he is for the writer, strengths and weaknesses. Wally West has been, especially in the last couple of years, through so much. He's gone from murderer to being reconciled and flash forward, to the big thing that happens at the end there. And recently in death metal, it's just shown his massive importance and his strength as not only a better character to write with, really almost the Marvel style kind of character that has the strength and weaknesses that make him more interesting, but also somehow beats Barry Allen at his own game in the power struggle, like literally the power struggle, speed, time control, multiverse. I'll cede that time.
All right. Todd, you've got 2 minutes to ask your questions. I'll come back when there's around 10 seconds left.
So if I heard you, one of the things you said was that what makes Wally a better Flash is that he is able to be written better. Is that he is more accessible?
I think what I was trying to show is that there's a higher level almost consciousness for a comic book reader where all of this actually happens, not the movies, where Wally West is the better character because of strengths and weaknesses, and also the better Flash by the things that define what the Flash is. So what I was just trying to really highlight is the fact that he was in the 1991 series and that he's chosen on a CW show. I mean, really, can CW beat me twice in these contests? Like, can it really beat me twice? That would be silly. But those are the most important things. So I was just highlighting those things over over your argument.
In response to you, if you just want to go straight comic books and leave all the everything else out, in terms of writing, I don't know if there is a more iconic moment than in Crisis on Infinite Earths when Barry makes the ultimate sacrifice. I don't know if more depth of a character is shown that resonates with the comic book reading audience for more time. Like, I don't think people care that Wally was
one of the best moments in World Series history is Kirk Gibson's home run. That's the question time. You're asking a question, now you're debating.
I was stating in the middle of
world history ever was Kirk Gibson's home run, resonates with baseball fans everywhere. But the Dodgers in the last 30 years have not had the most best seasons. And Wally West has had the most best stories since.
And according to who? Is that just your opinion?
It just feels like that. Like Wally West is in all the good stories.
If it's your feeling, it's your opinion, correct?
Well, I mean, this is an opinion.
You have evidence to support it.
It is an opinion, right? Like Wally West. I mean, someone could say Kid Flash is the best.
All right, this time
Bearded wants to come up here and fight for Jay Garrick.
Is that the guy with the metal hat?
Yeah.
All right. I know this much.
Let the jury point out that he resorted to the "that's your opinion, right?" argument.
All right. Todd, I'm going to make you biggest eyes. You've got 2 minutes to do what you want to either forward some of your arguments or attack some of Chaos's.
Okay. I'm gonna go right to bat here. Batman even respects Barry. This is according to comic book resources, right?
It's a good one.
They say Batman's relationship with the DC universe is tumultuous would be an understatement. Even his supposed best friend, Superman, will admit they disagree more than they agree, and their relationship is based on a mutual trust more than anything. But Batman does have one person he respects, Barry Allen. Before he was a superhero, Barry was a CSI and a scientist. Over the years, Barry and Batman have bonded over their mutual appreciation for detective work. Okay? This is a relationship that was punctuated the New 52 and the DC Rebirth era. So besides from ushering in the Silver Age, Barry is still relevant in modern day comics. Batman outright admit his respect for Barry, a relationship which he has with no one else in the DC universe. No one else compares. Wally, by comparison, was a member of the JLA for years, but always seemed to be on the outskirts of the team, hanging on the team's respect for Barry rather than his own merits, essentially being the Flash in the ghost of Barry's Flash. And ultimately, my single biggest belief of why Barry Allen is the greatest Flash. Maybe Wally's powers are greater. Does that mean Superman's the greatest hero ever because he's the most powerful? I don't think so. I don't think that makes him easily written. Just try to read some of the stuff that's out there now with him. But Barry saves the day with science. And I respect that. Wally was no slouch, but Barry's a certifiable genius.
Hold on, I'm going to write a sentence down and then bigatize Chaos. All right. Chris, same deal. 2 minutes to make your arguments.
This is the closing,
No.
right?
Middle speech.
Oh, so wait, before you start, give me the order again. We're middle speeching, and then
You're
we're
in the middle
closing after this.
And then you close after this.
Okay. I mean, I find it interesting that that even in a conversation, that has nothing to do with Batman, we always have to return to Batman. But I will give him something there occasionally, and this doesn't pan out in the actual stories. They say that this is the case, but then Batman solves every crime in the end, so it doesn't actually pan out. But they try to say that Barry Allen is the better detective. He's better than Batman, and that doesn't really pan out, and that's fine. Barry Allen has science, and that's great. Lots of characters have science, but not a lot of characters have the depth of Wally West, and especially not a lot of characters in the DC universe have that kind of. He's not even anti-hero. He's 80% hero and 20% dark side, and that's just a more fun thing to read and write, to be honest, especially through Flash Forward, especially through stories like that, where Barry Allen is vanilla. Like, he's the quintessential Flash. I can't tell you he's not. He had his huge moment. That's a huge moment in Crisis on Infinite Earth. I can't tell you that's not. I can't tell you that he's not going to be chosen for the films. What I could tell you is that that's the vanilla version. And Flash has a history. He's not even the original Flash, to be honest. So he's the first try at the change. And Flash has a history of having multiple identities. And Wally West keeps coming back. Like, they've tried to cut him out. They've tried to make him not exist. And Wally West keeps coming back. And in fact, is the better thing at what defines the Flash, which is one, stories. He's on all the more memorable stories, especially recently. And number two, he's faster, and he sits on a really nice chair. But I'm going to cede the rest of my time. Thank you.
I like how you're afraid to spoil Flash Forward like a year after it ended, but
I'm
that's
not
quite
afraid to
admirable
spoil
of
it.
you.
I'm not afraid to spoil it. I don't need people like you walking on my argument. Thanks, Judge.
All right. Whoop, I made Chris big again while I was drinking his beer. My bad. All right, Todd, you've got 2 minutes to make your final closing argument as to why Barry Allen is the best
This is my
Flash.
final chance to speak, right? This
Yes,
is my
sir.
Okay, perfect. Okay, very good. I mean, okay, aside from ushering in the Silver Age, aside from being in one of the most iconic moments of DC history, when he sacrificed himself to contain the Anti-Monitor's cannon and save the life of all his friends, all the other heroes and characters in the DC universe, Barry controls his speed like no one else. Again, this is stated by Comic Book Resources, a reputable website that talks about comic books. Barry didn't have the Speed Force. Okay. So naturally, he didn't have the same access to his abilities that Wally did. But he made up for it with the simple application of science and physics. Okay. His greatest strength is his mind. You say that the basic premise of the Flash is just moving fast. That's not it at all. That's not it at all. I think the simplistic view of super speed is that is all it is moving fast. But Barry had the treadmill. He traveled through time. He might not have been able to snap his fingers and just do it because he was connected to the Speed Force, but he figured out how. He did some amazing things with just the ability to run without having that magical connection to this new thing that we have to amp up to make it bigger for the new audience. Barry could vibrate through solid objects with such precise control, he could control every molecule of his body. This allowed him to outrace Superman on numerous occasions. By phasing through objects, the Man of Steel had to run around. He could maintain a velocity and run up buildings. He is the Flash. There is no other who even compare.
All right. Chris, whenever you're ready, you can make your closing argument.
Just looking at the chat, it seems some of you are just fans of a certain one, and that goes, Wally West and Barry Allen. In the 70s, the most important person in comics history broke off with the Marvel universe and moved on to DC. And in DC, and when he was in DC, he created some of the things that have most affected the DC universe today. One of those things was the Mobius Chair. And that Mobius Chair was actually referenced by Todd just now. The Mobius Chair is something that gives you great power. It's like Thor's hammer on crack, essentially. And among the other things that I pointed out, that hopefully that we don't look to what is considered quintessential, even though he's a copy too, which is the Barry Allen Flash. Hopefully that's not what you're paying attention to. You're paying attention to the better character. You're paying attention to the person, even if you're doing the nerdy comic book thing in the chats about who's a better fighter or who would win what. That's also Wally West. That he has both levels. He's the improvement on the Flash, even though Barry Allen is great. But on top of all of that, the thing created, or that led to the creation by the world's greatest comic creator, the Mobius Chair, itself decided that Wally West should be its host, and that it should that Wally West is the person that should be worthy of wielding the Mobius Chair's power. So much so that recently he saved the goddamn multiverse. Are on his way to doing it. Plus, Wally West has better hair. And I'm going to close with this. Wally West is still the second best Flash. Rapido, number
Why
one.
is he still talking?
Rapido, number one. Gorilla Todd doesn't even know what Rapido is.
But you know what I do know? When my guy had his big moment in comics were good.
I'll disagree with that.
And mine was drawn by George Perez.
I disagree with both, though. I'm not going to disagree with drawn by George Perez, but I'll disagree with that.
All right. Well, you both enjoy some bonus rebuttal time while people are voting.
Rapido. No, I'd rather talk about Vegas.
It was fun, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, dude, this is all just a joke. Like, not a joke.
Yeah.
But I don't take it seriously.
Well,
No, we're playing.
that's why I like both of you, is that your ego is not vested in this. Although I liked Chaos saying, "Is the CW going to take me down twice?" That made me laugh.
I mean, Barry Allen being on TV.
You know what I think?
Making me nuts.
The biggest moment of the Sea-Doo crisis moment was when they had the movie Flash Ezra appear and talk to the TV Flash.
Spoiler alert.
You had two. Well, it's like a year ago. Sorry, two Flashes, two Barrys talking, connecting.
My wife loved the Flash show,
but I didn't really want to bring up the DC movie, so I kind of like stuck. When you wanted to stick to comics, I was like, fine, I'll stick to comics.
Yeah, well, I figured I had a guess where you were going to go at the beginning, at least. I mean, I know that you're nimble and can change, right? But that was like I had you go first so that I could try to counteract that, because that was the obvious thing. It's what I would have done too, by the way.
Yeah.
That's what we had. That's what we had to do, you know. And then I had you going and quoting CBR, which is not a reputable website.
Well, it's as reputable as any other website about comic books.
I don't know. For the first place I go is comicbookposer.com.
I mean,
but yeah, no. Hey, Flash.
I also decided to go Black, I believe.
Hey, where's the goddamn link, Poser?
To vote?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
It's there.
Oh, you voted yourself.
While you all do that, I'm gonna spin one way. I forgot to show off. So after you voted, if you have not gone to the 4 featured channels in the top of the description, here are the books that you are vying for to pick up tonight. So I have this week a new #1 from Dark Horse, Neil Gaiman and Craig Russell, Norse Mythology #1. American Vampire 1976, because, it's spooky season and we got to have some vampires, apparently. I haven't read this yet, but I've seen a lot of people say it's okay. Apparently, I forgot that I bought 1 copy of this, so I have like 6 copies of the second printing of Ice Cream Man #20, and I think I picked up another one from Gorilla Todd when I picked up my Cat in the Hat book. So I'll give one of these away tonight. And then since we pushed last week to tonight, the A cover for Department of Truth #1. That y'all know that I really like that book. It was my pick of the week last week, but I'm also kind of a hack for James Tynion, and although people tell me I might not like him as much after the Batman 100 went down. So Lee, whenever you've made your decision, let me know in the private chat. I have made my decision and I'm refreshing the chat as we go. But yeah, I enjoyed you all having this discussion. That as someone who enjoys reading The Flash but does not know all of the different iterations, it was nice to kind of hear both of you talk about kind of the history. It was very nice strategically from the two of you to make concessions, like, when Chaos says even if Barry Allen was the first, like, he wouldn't have been as influential without Wally. When Gorilla Todd's like, even if Wally is more powerful, Barry Allen just needs speed and science, leaning on his inner science teacher. That I liked those kind of even if statements. And Papa Wheelie is asking me to wrench him. I don't even have the YouTube stream up for myself right now, but I will wrench you on the back end. Bearded wants to pop in and decide, so maybe I'll invite Bearded on the back end and see what he has to say as Chaos is wincing at that. And Sam King believes he is the fastest drinker. So I'm going to refresh the chat vote one more time and see if it's close to the number of people we have watching. All right, we have 15 people who have voted. We have
Did he knock himself out?
I hit the wrong refresh button. That's what I get for trying to do things on one screen. All right.
I think Todd's my closer neighbor than you think. I have a feeling. But I haven't seen you in Fandomverse though, and I go there all the time.
I was there today.
I wasn't there today. What day is it? Thursday. I would have been there yesterday for comics.
I don't always get there on Wednesday because by the time I get out of work.
Oh, you got class, right? Did you just knock him out? Poor guy.
No, I think he might have died.
Oh, he just died? Well, I hope he didn't die.
Well, his stream might have died. So we'll give Gorilla Todd a moment to click his way in, but I'll invite Lee, our Australian judge, in where it's like noon or something like that right now. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock tomorrow. He's living in the future.
He's gone.
He's like the Flash.
All right. We got Gorilla Todd back in a flash. So Lee, I will, as the guest, afford you the opportunity to go first again this time. So Lee, who do you vote for and why?
Yeah, so that was a really fun debate. I enjoyed that one. I think I'm not going to bury the lead. I'm just going to tell you straight away. I'm going to vote for Gorilla Todd. I think he had a bit of a stronger argument and had some really good rebuttals to Chaos's statements. Especially like the one you mentioned. How he's the fastest, and it's like Superman's the strongest. Does that make him the best as well, sort of thing? And just with all the significant events, with him, in the Silver Age, most iconic DC moment, and with his treadmill traveling back in time. Yeah, there are my reasons why I'm giving Gorilla Todd my vote.
All right. I will show the chat next. Hold on 2 seconds. My computer is having a low level panic attack like I am. So we'll keep looking at Whack Comics Live on Twitter.
It's very, very interesting. I've got some comics today. They're pretty cool. That holiday special signed by Art Adams. Yes,
all right. The chat disagrees with Lee on a 9-7 decision. The chat votes for Chaos. And then there's a good conversation about how does people YouTube. I still don't know the answer to that. And Biggie is disappointed at the number of Flash fans since he still thinks the Flash is pussy.
I'm excited by 9-7 because I think Barry Allen's stuck in people's heads. So 9-7's a big win.
So for me, when I tend to evaluate debates, I look at things through like an offense-defense paradigm. And I think one of the contestants made more offensive arguments, both A, why their character was good, and B, why the other character was lesser of the two. And the other individual in this debate focused more on just defending why their character was awesome without a whole heck of a lot of offense, denying the greatness of the character I end up voting for. I believe that Chaos was more persuasive with the enduring greatness of Wally West in terms of things like you can kill him, but he keeps coming back, that he's the character that, has a bigger impact. And even if Gorilla Todd is right in terms of things like the Crisis on Infinite Earth kind of moment, I think Chaos at least has a little bit of defense to some of those claims and is able to defend why his powers may be seen as more influential with the Speed Force and now the addition of the Mobius Chair outside of the greatness of Barry Allen in the original Flash. So it's a flip-flop of the previous debate. I was the sat out on the first one, and in the second one on a 2-1 decision, Chaos will advance to verbally humiliate Comic Burrito, and I'm looking forward to some of that trolling of them. So I will bigotize Gorilla Todd.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. It was fun. It's kind of a relief not having to do this again. So, you said you didn't want to do it again, but you get to do it again, Chaos. Congratulations. I look forward to hanging out with you sometime.
Yeah, I hope I've created a Vegas hookup between the two of you.
In an hour and a half, I'll be live on my channel with Comics on the Mind. We'll be talking. And Chaos, you are more than welcome to stop by. You do not have to be a teacher. We welcome everyone.
Yeah, I will say it's good to watch them chop shop, and then Todd wins the next time people can catch you if they want to pick up some of your hot deals that you pass on to the people.
I'll be on the auction on Friday.
All right. So in the same way that I kind of talk about how I appreciate everybody who is there, Gorilla Todd has been someone who has aided me on my DC journey in terms of picking up some good DC books to be able to read throughout this process. That I remember I won a Gorilla Todd mystery box, and he was like, "What do you want?" And I said, "Teach me DC things." And he sent me some good books. Todd has been someone good to chat with on the back end as I kind of figure out how to sell some of my excess collection to the people. But I also think Todd is just a good person in terms of seeing some of the books that he picks up and the amount of investment he makes on some of his books to if he were selling things on, like eBay or Mercari versus these YouTube auctions, I think Todd could be murdering people with those inflated prices. But Todd is he's a seller's seller. Todd's got books that a lot of people want and will give them to you, not just at a fair market value, but probably a little bit below where they're valued and at a fair price and high quality. So
I got
what?
I don't want you to cancel them out before I get to ask a question.
Oh, yeah, but no, Todd, I'm glad that I've gotten to know you and work together with you through the marketplace. I'm Midnight Mafia. I'm glad that you yelled at me one night on the Midnight Mafia that I excluded you, a fellow teacher, from the process, and that you were able to show up and kind of flex your knowledge the last two debates. And I hope that you are, if season 2 becomes a thing, down and interested. So I'll shut up and let Chris ask his question of you.
Did you you're a science teacher, right?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the phrase Gish Gallop?
No.
No? Do you know who Dwayne Gish is?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay. I had this note here because I knew you were a science teacher. So Dwayne Gish is a semi-famous creationist, and debaters have when they debate him, no one debates him anymore really, but they've called it something of a Gish. They called something called a Gish Gallop, which I was going to point out in this auction, where he does the thing where he goes, I don't know what kind of science teacher you are, but where he'll be like, how could the eye have evolved or something, right? And he'll do what's called the Gish Gallop. He'll just throw out they're not even lies, right? Just throw it out, right? To put it's not even like to get to the truth. It was to put the debater in a bad situation, essentially. Because if you're a science teacher, right, you can teach the evolution of the eye. You just can't do it in a 2-minute. You know what I mean? You have to prepare it, take time.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say I was going to wait for you to just start like ramping off stories like this arc, and I just had one of the few things I had that didn't come up was to accuse you of Gish galloping, but I just wanted to point that out. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to see if you'd heard of it, because that's I've been in debates where I've had to like go against creationists and to do things like that. No offense to anyone that believes in God, but just keep that in other places.
All right, Todd. Thank you, sir. I will see you tomorrow night to see if I can give you some more of my money on Meta's auction starting at 9 p.m. Eastern.
It's good to meet you, Todd.
All right. Yeah. All right. Chris, how do you feel about tonight's big win?
I feel good about it. I think I for me, what was the problem was time. And technically I had 2 weeks, right? But I remember last week I knew I was going to have any time. And so I was like, hey, if he didn't choose, so I got to stop. And then it just happened that other people had issues too. So it worked out. And another thing is that I'm not a huge Flash guy. And until like halfway to today, I thought I was defending Barry Allen for some reason. So, I mean, luckily though, the meat, I read a lot. I read Tom King, some Vision and stuff like that. And I knew Wally West is the better character. No, all respect to Whack, but I think the one thing I did have was the rebuttal thing on that Superman. But like that's the one thing I did have aside from like the base kind of thing. So I was real excited about it. I was real excited it worked because generally, and it worked out for me too, because generally my complaint with DC is that everyone's like this God level, even Batman with no powers is a God level intellect, So I got to like sort of defend the reason I think Marvel is better through Wally West, who's could easily be like a Quicksilver or something in the Marvel universe with with all his warts on him, but trying to be good in the end, So I liked it from that perspective, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was close. 9-7's big for me because Comic Burrito, who knows how they voted. Bearded probably was the most neutral because he doesn't like Flash at all, and Barry Allen in general, that's 3 votes from Comic Burrito, and Barry Allen in general is the, what I'd like to call as like the the base idea. Like most people, if you didn't have a debate, would vote Barry Allen over Wally West. So I wasn't excited. I also wasn't excited to defend something that Burke liked. But it happens.
Nice.
That Rapido thing, I want to see if Lost in Comics is honest, because that Rapido thing was specifically for them, especially when I saw where they were leaning.
There was a note that said, "You've earned yourself a signed Rapido" somewhere in the chat.
I don't want that. I wanted the vote.
Oh, I don't know if there's a way for me to see that. So as I do my last little bit of administrivia on the back end, can you tell people where they can see or listen to you next?
I mean, I'm a straightforward talk about comics review guy. I'll open and do hauls occasionally, but I'm just big on talking about the comics I'm reading and then talking to you about them in either my comments or I've been in the Comic Burrito Discord a lot. I've been on your channel, so that's my big thing. Like I use this a little bit more as social media than I do as like being a channel builder kind of thing. So that's my big thing. If you want to talk about comics, whether you read them or not, that's why you would come to my channel. Essentially, I don't even expect you to watch whole videos or anything. So I try to list all the comics I read, so you know where to like sort of look for them, kind of thing. Like that's why I'm mostly here. So.
Nice. Well, and I'll tell you the same thing that I said on Comic Burrito on Saturday night. I have all of your episodes of your 10 of Swords podcast on my to watch list because at school they block half of the videos and then I can't comment on anything else. But like I said on Burrito's live stream, it's nice to be in a period where it feels like an X-Men event is going to be elevated instead of shit on. And I'm glad that there is someone out there who is dedicated to kind of parsing through everything, because as much as I love all of these different X-Men storylines right now, it's hella messy. And I wanted to do what you're doing and just didn't have the time to kind of piece everything together. So I'm excited as an X-Men fan, you know, to see if Ten of Swords is really going to be as good as we hope it is, or is it going to be good just compared to Empire because Empire was a steaming pile of shit, or, you know, are we hyped up too much after the first 5 chapters of 22?
I could tell you this about that though, is I barely touch on good bad in it. Like, to me, if you're going to listen to that and you're reading it, or it's like evergreen and you're going to read it later. By the way, if you're caught up ever, Dustin, I'll try to get you onto that for a segment, but because I just do it 2 on time though, right? But it's more about themes and stuff. I try my best, even though it's hard to hide it, to stay away from like it, didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's more like tarot cards, things like that, or like what this theme is, or yeah, exactly. So
first of all, Bearded, clearly you didn't watch this week's video because I was pissed that my copy of My Little Pony Transformers didn't come in. And second, fuck off, that's a good book. But my goal is to get caught up with your episodes of that while I'm doing some research tonight, and I would love to talk X-Men with someone, since that's not a spot for the Burrito Discord. So
yeah, they're dumb DC guys, and also I'm often blocked along with Pornhub and QAnon and certain. Yeah, it's just crazy the way it works out. No matter where it is, work, school, I'm just blocked. So.
Nice. Well, then you're in good company if you're there with QAnon and Pornhub. Then those are the 3 things in my rotation: conspiracy theories, porn, and chaos. So
yeah, ironically, Grindr, I'm all over.
I think on that note, that's the perfect exit for you. So, Chris, I will tell you, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I will drop a message. I don't know if I need to do it on Instagram or on just the Burrito Discord, since all 3 of us are on there, but we'll start prepping for the next one. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lee, you wanna outro yourself, or you wanna hang around while we do some giveaways?
I don't know. What's the time? I might have to go. I'll give myself a bit of an outro.
Okay. I'll let you talk yourself up, since you graciously gave me like 2 hours of your time on the spot. So let us know everything, Whack.
Yeah, thanks. Well, firstly, thanks heaps for letting us come on and judge. It was fun. I hope I did okay judging. I'm not really much of a judger, but I don't know. I hope I serviced the judging thing well enough for today.
No, I think you did a fine job. That most of the people I talk to who are anxious about judging for the first time, you were able to give good, well-reasoned like points to why you voted the way you did, which is exactly what everybody looks for in a judge. That as you were going, here's why I voted, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So
yeah, well,
fully
thanks.
to you on that one. I think you did a good job there, and I will be hitting you up to judge the semifinals.
Awesome. Yeah, keen. But yeah, check out my channel. Do a bunch of whack reviews, different kind of stuff. Bearded Comic Boy just gave me an idea for one that I might have to try this week. What is it? Taping a comic to a treadmill. I might have to give that a go. And Rob, definitely message me about getting your cat. I love cats, so I'll need a cat on an episode of Whack Comics for sure. But thanks, Lesson Comics. Yeah, everyone check out my stuff. I'm almost at 200 subscribers. I'm going to do another another giveaway when I get to 200. And yeah, it's gonna be fun times. It's all about fun times over at Whack Comics doing the things.
Yeah, and that's why I love Whack Comics. That I love the videos that Lee used to do by himself. I love the team up between he and Shattered Glass on both the live streams and on some of their parrot videos. And I will make sure to share out the video, the link to the Ice Cream Man video that y'all did like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was my favorite one we've done so far. But if you haven't watched more of our videos, like maybe that shouldn't be your first one. So
yeah, maybe you can help me curate a playlist. But it was the funniest thing that I've ever seen. I also like, if you haven't seen Lee also creates some good ambient music on his channel. So
Yeah,
it's
been a minute
cool.
since I've made one of them. I can't find my fucking almost. I don't know if I can swear on this show. I can't find my guitar channel anywhere. I'm a guitar tuner, so anywhere. And it's like disappeared into another dimension. So I might have to just buy another one.
It was taken by the underpants gnomes from South Park. Well, since you are living in the future and it's around lunchtime for you over there, I'll tell you thank you for your time and get something to eat, and we'll chat later, bud. But thank you again so much.
All right, thanks heaps for having me. Thanks everyone in the chat.
Yeah,
come do the things. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. All right. So I like the commentary that's going on in the chat about the Final Four and who I should get to judge. That I'll look at some of those, but Perry's payment rate might be too high. So let's give away some books really fast. I'll show you a couple of other giveaway things for the 500 subscriber video, and then we'll move on. So I'm starting at the top of the list and working down. So this is the number of people who commented on Slotted Up's video with the hashtag Poser Says Hi. We have a whole whopping 6 unique commenters, and I've shuffled the books around, and you are playing for the A cover of American Vampire 1976. So winning that is Todd, one half of the Comic Burrito, or 1/3 of the Comic Burrito, one half from who competed, since Nick would just agree with everybody when he shows up. The second channel was Mason from Comics and Crosses, the Christian interpretation of Philadelphia. And I'm telling you, this should be one of those videos that you go back and just listen to his analysis, because it's good from a literary and a like philosophical standpoint. And if you are religious, then you can look at how you feel he interpreted the Bible on that one. Looks like nobody went and commented on Mason's video. And if you want to let in the chat know that you commented on Mason's, then I will go back and figure it out and draw a winner from there. The third is DJ Linx, who does a bunch of unboxings. So let's see if anybody commented on DJ Linx's video. We got 7 on that one. And you are playing for a copy of the second printing of Ice Cream Man number 20. That's my guy Matthew over at Papa Wheelie. Picking up some sweet Ice Cream Man goodness. And the final video before I show you all some final giveaway items is over on Vincent McLean, the Comic Machines video. It was him announcing the parameters for his 200 subscriber giveaway. And then I'll look back at the chat and see if there's anybody who's like, but I commented on Mason's video. We got 7 over here. And the winner of Norse Mythology number 1 is Comic Burrito, and I'm assuming that's Cole. So I'll go look at Mason's channel and figure out if some of you did comment over there and they got flagged as spam or something like that. But once I figure that out, the winner of that one will be getting a Department of Truth number 1. So I'll figure it out. A couple of folks said I commented on it over there. So the weird thing with this comment picker sometimes, and I'll go through and put it in one more time, is sometimes your comments will get put in as spam if you don't watch the video for long enough. So I'll double check it one more time. Yeah, it's not pulling anything up. So I'll reach out to Mason and I'll go pull some things myself. And we can I'll figure it out once I end the stream. So in terms of items for the 500 subscriber giveaway, I've already showed a couple of things. I showed the 2 slabs that are up for the giveaway. Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 23 at a 9.0. And Batman, number 43 at a 9.8. The other things that I've showed off are a copy of Gray 1 and 2. And some of the other quick things that I'll show you before signing off, because I got some research to help do with my students. I'm going to give away some comic-themed Funko Pops or figurines. So one of the prizes you can get from leaving a Poser Says Hi hashtag is a Wade Wilson Weapon 11 Pop from this year's San Diego Comic-Con. I have a Loot Crate exclusive Q-Fig of a black and white like newsprint Spider-Man hanging upside down. And then the other things that I'll show are something that I showed at my 100 subscriber giveaway that I was going to give on Twitter and then changed my mind. But I've got the full set of first printing of Little Birds. So Little Bird 1 through 5 is going to be up for drawing. One of the copies of Support Our Shops number 1, the Aftershock free book that was given to stores to sell for what they needed. And then one of my favorite trades of the COVID era was We Can Never Go Home number 1, volume 1. So that's just a small taste of the things that I have to give away. Like I said, during phase 1 of my March to 500, we have 14 individual channels that you can comment on to enter for a giveaway, in addition to some of the slabs and other hidden elements for the grand prize that will be shown off in subsequent weeks. The other thing that I will mention is the status of this stream for next week is a coin flip in terms of what we do. Because we have pushed some things back because of work obligations and other stuff, next week Bearded is unable to compete in his semifinal match because we have landed on top of his vacation. So either next week we will have one semifinal match if Chaos and the Burrito is ready to go. If they decide no and they would like to wait until the following week where we do both semifinal matches together and I reveal what the winner of Comic Book This or That Season 1 will receive. The other thing that I will say that we can do with next Thursday night stream is I will open this up for 2 individuals to issue an open challenge to anyone they would like to debate a topic. If you would like to get on and shoot some shit, put a bounty on the line, I'll give some books away, I'll do anything you want. But if there's someone who would like to challenge another channel to a debate, or hell, even challenge me to a debate, I'll take it, and we can do that next week. So pay attention to announcements in my other videos or on YouTube or on Twitter and Instagram, and I will let you know what the official plan is for next week. So I'll be live in one form or another, but what it looks like, I don't know. But the last thing that I will show you before I close this out is here's what the bracket is looking like at this moment in time. Our current matchup for the semifinals, we have the number 1 overall seed, Dudes Talking Comics, taking on the 13th overall seed, the Bearded Comic Bro. And the result of tonight's debate, the overall number 10 seed, the Comic Burrito, taking on the overall number 6 seed, Chaos and Comics. And those topics are to be determined when I put them in a random picker tonight. In terms of the individuals who are competing for Peepaw's Mystery Spider-Man-ish slab, right now, sitting in first, this shit is just going to look rigged for Comic Burrito. because right now, someone who is a comic burrito stan, but I can see by the username, not a burrito himself, is currently sitting in first with a score of 12 and an overall score potential of 28. Sitting in second is I'm Todd, so a third of the burrito sitting in second with a score of 11 and a potential of 23. And sitting in third is What the Butt. I'm guessing that's probably Cole since he's obsessed with butt stuff. He's sitting in third with 10 points and an overall potential of 26. So we'll see how this continues to shake out. You can see that there are still individuals who are ranked below the top three who could catch them if the right couple of individuals win their semifinals and make the final round. Comic Burrito is asking for the topic soonish. Maybe. Depends if you ask me nicely. Oh, Sam King is a burrito stan, so he's Comic Burrito adjacent. The Comic Burrito, I mean, Todd picked Burrito to win. Cole's saying he picked Chaos to win, but we'll see. You can see my, not going to lie, I'm running, I'm just picking it to test it. Biggie Shack was ousted. Mo from Dudes Talking Comics is saying, may the best team win. I love to see you all duking it out. Yes, I have a dagger of butt stuff in our D&D campaign that's never going to begin. And yeah, Adventure Man is a what the butt thing. So there you go. There are all of your announcements. I will show you more things as we go throughout. Before this stream began, we only had a couple, 3 or 4 people who had finished the escape room. So if you need questions, don't be afraid to reach out on Twitter or Instagram, and I will see if I can give you a few little hints here or there. But I have heard from a couple of people that you're having a good time, so hopefully you're enjoying it, not just blowing smoke up my ass. But that's it. It's 10 o'clock for me here in the Central Time Zone, the true definitive element of what may or may not be Midwest, because despite what Comic Burrito says, Michigan's definitely not in the Midwest. And with that, I will end this in the same way that I answer everything else, or end everything else. Thanks for stopping by, and have a good one. See y'all next week, everybody. He vamps as he forgot to click on his outro video. Bye.